get you the link. Just a minute. Okay, bear with us for a second here, folks. I know we're live, but we're doing something just a little different, just to totally mess with your brain, because that's fun for us too. Which one is that one there? Okay, so I need to get the link. How do I? Oh, that's showing me upcoming. All right, never mind. Had to refresh my page. Okay, here we go. This one. Okay. No. I want to see it. Oh, that would have shown it to me. Okay. There we go. All right. I know this is a really unique new challenge for everybody for lives, huh? There you go. I just texted you the link so you can share it.
All right. I got to leave you for a sec.
No worries.
Copy.
I know this is a little different for what we do on our lives here, but this is okay because we want everybody to be able to get to see it. This is an exciting book. Do you ever bump your screen and have some random page that you didn't even know you had an app on your phone for come up? I know I'm just killing time. I'm just literally filler content here right now, folks. But that's okay. While Linda's sharing that, I'm going to go over to Facebook, and I am going to share it there too, because we want everybody to know all about it. And forward and highlight. There we go. Oh, gotta tag Judy in this one. Not that she'll probably get to listen to it right now because the baby's taking up all of her time. But
okay.
I'm sure. I'm assuming you heard that Judy had her baby.
No.
Judy had her baby. I know this has nothing to do with what our live is about, but Judy had her baby. Yeah,
well, I thought she was due on the 16th.
Yeah,
of
it was
December.
like 3 weeks early. She just got home from the hospital yesterday.
Oh my goodness! I have to send her a text. I don't want to call her in the midst of that. That's fabulous! Wow, we were really down to the wire with finishing this book.
Man. Yeah, it's been one of those kind of weeks.
Do you know what she named him?
I don't know what she named her.
Do you know what she named him?
It's a girl, but I don't know what she named her. I think she probably told me, and I don't remember. But
okay.
All right. So everyone, so glad to have you here. Join me in welcoming Dr. Linda Varisco. Linda, thanks so much for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure.
Your book, Rising After the Fall, I hope you love that name. I really, really liked it when it kind of came up, is book 3 of The Girl with $1 Million Smile, kind of bringing it all to a conclusion. But first of all, for people who don't know you, haven't learned about you, tell us a little bit about you and how you show up in the world.
Oh, I show up in a lot of different places, but I was a chiropractor for 30 years. I'm currently retired since 2018. It was kind of a forced retirement. And now I'm running a very successful plumbing company, believe it or not. I am rescuing squirrels. I don't know. There's not anything that I feel like I don't do. I write. I was excited to get book 3 out and finish the trilogy. And that's it. And I brought book 1 to show you. The Girl with the $1 Million Smile. Actually, that picture, I think, was taken right here in my living room. And then The Journey to Mr. Right, book 2. And book 3, I don't have yet.
Soon. But you can get it today for free in the ebook form. just kind of really celebrating the holiday with it, bringing the book out. Tell us a little bit about the fall, first of all, so that we can then talk about how you rose after the fall. What happened?
Well, that's a whole long story. That's book 1 and 2, Steve. Okay, the
Well,
fall.
just the end fall part. Where do we start in book three?
We start with me self-surrendering to a federal prison in the Southern District of Florida, and what it was like to walk through those doors willingly, and to serve it was a year and a day, which translates to 10 months. And I spent 7 months in a camp, a federal camp, Camp Fed, and then 3 months at a halfway house, which in a lot of ways was worse. So it was crazy. It was a crazy ride, and you would never expect somebody like me, who grew up with a gold spoon in New York, to wind up in that situation.
That is
So
so
that was the
cool.
fall. And the rise is what happens afterward, and how I make my way in the world. I had to reinvent myself at 56 years old, which is not always easy. We wear different hats in our lives. I had the mommy hat, I had the chiropractor hat, I had the wife hat, and then all of a sudden the wife hat wasn't there, and then the chiropractic hat wasn't there, and I had to kind of, I my whole life I defined myself as a chiropractor. So it was very crazy to have to reinvent yourself at 56 years old. But I did it. And Rise After the Fall is definitely what I did. So it's a book of transformation. It's also a book that will help other women to, when life knocks you down, and we all been knocked down, every one of us, is how to get up, brush yourself off, and keep going. And that's what these 3 books really are about, and my takeaways from it.
I know that you were you were actually literally writing the book originally um, at Camp Fed and then reading it to the ladies there. Tell us a little bit about the writing experience and, both was that good for you and how did the people initially respond to it?
It was great for me. Uh, it was a working camp, so I had a job at what was called Unicor, where I was a row girl, drove a forklift. Inventory would come in, I'd put it on the shelves. Then an order would go out, and that took me about 2 to 3 hours a day. So the rest of the day, I had my own little desk, and I sat there and I started to pour my heart out onto the paper. And a lot of times I would write about the happy things. Like I wrote segment here, segment there, segment there. And then I would kind of put it together, because there's a lot of chapters in our lives. And I would bring it back to the dorm. And I had my bunkie and all her friends. There would be like 7 of us. And they'd be like, "What'd you write today? What'd you write today?" And they'd line up like story time. And I would read them, 5 or 6 pages, and I little by little I found my voice. Their responses were great. It was raw. It was honest. They laughed with me at the funny parts. They cried with me at the serious parts. And the fact that I was able to elicit that kind of emotion in these people made me realize, like, I think I have something here. But in my busy life of raising a child and running a practice, 2 children and raising a practice, and I could not find the time to write this book. It had been formulating in my mind. And then as life happened, I got more and more stuff to add into it. Not all of it good, but transformative. So that's how the book happened, basically. So I came out of the camp with about 75% of the book done.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's where I wrote the majority of it.
You had a great support system. You know, you talk about in book two how you found Mr. Right. Um, I love that, you know, right as you finally find love at the end of book two, you know, after all the turmoil of the first two books, that then you're like, oh, and now I get to go to jail.
Whoops! Now something else happened. Yes.
but he stuck with you, you know. I mean, he's a
He
really
did
great
stick
guy.
with me. He managed my house, my animals, the 1,000 plants that he had to water every week. You know, I got a green thumb, and he kept me going. He kept me going through the darkest nights of my soul,
I love that.
and it was it was great. You know,
Yeah, that's
there's
awesome.
a lot of people that turned their heads to me, and they didn't want. As a matter of fact, a funny quick story I'll just tell you. One of the attorneys that I had worked with for maybe 25 years, when all the stuff hit the fan, he kind of ghosted me. He didn't want any part of me for fear that he could somehow get pulled into this thing. And his office manager got her hands on book one and two. And instead of calling me, he calls a lady who's a friend of mine, Diane, and he goes, "Have you talked to Dr. Linda?" And she goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, how's she doing?" She goes, "Well, why don't you call her?" He goes, "I kind of feel bad. You know, I all those years I kind of just pushed her away. I think I'm going to pick up the phone and make it easy for him and call him." But he's in the book. So that's, I changed his name, but not enough that he doesn't know it's him. And it's amazing how the book kind of has tentacles and it grows out to all these people who knew me. It's pretty exciting. So I am going to do it before the holidays. I'm going to reach out to him and maybe meet him for lunch or coffee. I get it. I get that he was scared and that it was easier to push me away than to, like, be a friend at that point for fear
Yeah.
that he was going to go down. So be careful what you get yourself into, because sometimes you don't even understand. Like, I really didn't understand what I was getting involved in until it was too late. And then I was in the midst of it. As a matter of fact, when the office got raided, we were on the second floor and we were looking down in the parking lot, and I see all these black SUVs pull up. And Big Daddy, my massage therapist, I looked at him, I go, something's going down. And then like somebody switched a switch. Everybody exited. I go, somebody's getting raided. This is how clueless I was that they came right into my office. That is true cluelessness.
I love it.
It,
Did
wa- it, it was crazy. It was scary.
yeah, did the other people, you know, that had
The
kind of
co-conspirators.
yeah, the real bad guys is really what I want to say.
Yeah.
Did they
Okay.
ever
The bad
really
guys. Yes.
get their comeuppance, or are they still just kind of on the lam?
They got 6 and 6.5 years consecutively, and then they got a compassionate release because of COVID. So I had to self surrender. They were arrested, and at that point, did time starting in the day of the raid. So, which was 2015, and so that all that time that was considered time served. So they're out right now. I heard one of them is down in Sunny Isles, Florida, opening a, a Mediterranean hummus store. I don't know. I was told to stay the hell away from them, so that I chose to do it. um, and the other one's wife died in the midst of all this aggravation. Young girl, she died. It was crazy. And their office manager, who I believe did them in, because when I heard the tapes that the feds had the rooms bugged, and when they started to play the tapes back to me, I'm like, wow, I had that conversation outside with her on a balcony while she was having a smoke. So I realized at that point she had a wire. So she was really the leak. She went down for something and then took her bosses down, and I went in the aftermath of it. You know, when matches light up in a matchbook, they all catch on fire. Yeah. I guess you got the analogy.
Absolutely. So, rising after the fall, we've come through all of this. You ended up incarcerated. You came out. Tell us how great life is right now. I mean, here's this 30-year chiropractor that pivoted and is now running her husband's plumbing company and making it flourish. Sometimes more than he even wants it to.
Yes, that's correct.
Um,
And
tell us how great is life now?
how did that happen? So like I didn't even want to date a plumber, never mind work for a plumbing company, but okay. Well, I didn't marry him. We're living in sin together, which is working just fine for the both of us. um, so I get out of the halfway house. I had a job working for this attorney during the time at the halfway house, and I didn't want to schlep back and forth. He was like 45 minutes away. So Steve said to me, "You want a job?" That's Mr. Right. He goes, "You want a job?" I go, "What am I going to do?" He goes, "You can market my company. You could." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, you can. Just like you market it as a chiropractor, you can market as a plumber." So believe it or not, I went back to all these business groups that I was originally a chiropractor in, and now I am promoting plumbing. And I didn't realize how much money there actually is in plumbing. Maybe I should have pivoted way before the whole. Plumbers make a lot of money.
Oh, sure. Now you want to be part of the plumbers and with the plumber.
No, I don't want to do the plumbing, but I don't mind promoting it, and I actually have a lot of fun because plumbing is, you always got dirty taglines, with plumbing. Your number two is our number one. All sorts, all sorts of. Your pee and poop is our bread and butter, and I go to these B&I groups, and I get him so much business because I say such off-colored stuff that people remember. So um, somebody's just asking me, did I miss it? No, just push the link and you'll see you didn't miss it. So,
I love it. So much fun. So, and then there's the squirrels. Um,
yeah.
with all of the quick edit I had to do this on this last one, I didn't get to read it as intensely as I have the other two. Did the squirrels come into book 3?
No, I didn't. I'm so sorry. I didn't mention the squirrels. I should have. Uh, what I like about book 3 is it's not only about the incarceration. It's about me getting out and figuring out what to do next in my life. And I go through the whole, and now of course I'm middle age. Now my parents are geriatric and I'm dealing with elderly parents, and I lost my mom and her husband the year I got out, and then my mom in 2021. So I did this whole thing about middle age, getting older, grief, love, my takeaways about love. What else did I do in there? Grief, love. Sorry, that was a plumbing call coming. It doesn't ever stop, even on the weekends. Sorry, call the office. Um, I can't remember what the other one is right this second, but the takeaways are great. That's really what binds the book together about how I feel about life and love and rising up after the fall. Now, your question about the squirrels. So I got out in January of 2019, and that spring, right after my mother's husband died, as a matter of fact, during the funeral, my kids went outside in my backyard, like between the sittings, and they found this baby squirrel. Um, they found this baby squirrel on the deck. And I come home. I guess Steve and I went to pick up some food, and I get home, and there's this baby squirrel. I thought it was a rat on my daughter's chest. And that became my love of squirrels. So I started taking care of the squirrel, and then others started landing on my lap. And we put a video when I first learned how to do a video. We put it on TikTok, and it became an overnight sensation. And then the dodo reached out to me. You know, the dodo's about rescue animals. And then they reached out to me. And then before you know it, I have like 70,000 followers on a squirrel. And then other people started contacting me. Hey, I found a baby squirrel. What do I do? And all the ones in Florida I seem to have gotten. I've rescued 11 squirrels now. That something happens to their mom, because the baby squirrels are raised solely by the female. The males, they just do the deed and then they're gone. And what happens is when the mother squirrel gets killed or something and she doesn't return to the nest, baby squirrels don't even open their eyes until they're 4 weeks old. So these poor babies have no defenses. They don't even see what's coming. So I fed them with the dropper, squirrel formula, stimulated their lower abdomen to make them pee just like the mother would do in the nest. And that feeding goes on every 2 to 3 hours when they're infants. And then it gets, up to 3 to 4 hours, then, 4 times a day. It's a lot of work and it's truly a labor of love. And I love it. So, and also since people started to hear about me through the squirrels. Am I still there?
You're still here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we lost our Wi-Fi for a sec. No, he hears me, so I'm still good. And then I started to do some podcasts with some famous people. Kevin Lanning had me on, Ian Bick, talking about prison life. And I went to Connecticut to do the live up there with Ian Bick, and that was a riot. It was a riot. And a lot of the people commented, they said, wow, this is the least I ever heard you talk, because he just asked me a question. I kept going. I might as well shut up now until your next question, Steve. So go ahead. Did I answer your squirrel question?
You did, absolutely. So, what's the one thing that you know now that you wish you could go back at the beginning of your chiropractic career and give yourself advice on? What's the one piece of advice that you would give to the 30 years ago version of yourself?
I wouldn't be a chiropractor anymore. Maybe I'd run a plumbing company, what I know now. But okay, 30 years ago, well, the situation happened is my husband put me in financial distress, okay? And that led me to make decisions that weren't the right ones. So if I had to do it all over, I would not trust people for their word, because a lot of people are just, they try to scam you. And that's what happened to me. And by the time I realized these guys were up to no good, it was really too late for me. I was so integrated with them. I really did. I tried to get out 3 different times. They told me they were applying for their medical license. And in the meantime, they were using my tax ID number. So it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. But if I had to, oh my God. I want to say this about that question is, I don't believe that anything happens randomly, Steve. I think that things are supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. I think our soul chooses the path that it chooses to become better versions of ourselves. Like it's the soul having a human experience, not the human having a soul experience, kind of thing, if you understand what I mean.
I do. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I believe that I believe we pick and choose our parents. We pick and choose our partners for whatever lessons that we need to learn from that. But my biggest takeaway from this whole thing is the worst decisions I ever made in my life is not trusting my gut. Not trusting. When my husband wanted to buy that building, I didn't want it. Him and my father, they talked me into it. They ran the numbers. I would have rather write a check and paid the rent, $2,500 a month, and be done. Now I owned a building with all the expenses, and then when he passed away, that was left on my shoulders. The 2009, 2010 market crashed. I lost half my tenants. So in retrospect, if I didn't say yes to the building, that I would have never wound up in the financial distress I was in. And then when I met these people, okay, my gut, my hair stuck up on the back of my neck, and I wasn't going to go with them, Steve. And then a friend of mine from 25 years called me that night, and she said, I heard you met with so-and-so, and they're good businessmen. I go, no, I'm not going to go with them. She goes, Linda, they could be your life raft. And then again, my second decision where I didn't follow my gut. And that one really, I paid a big price for that. So in life, especially women, we get that feeling up our neck. We don't know what it is. Like, oh, stay away from this. Start listening to that when you get it. That's my takeaway from book 1, 2, and 3. Follow your gut in life, and don't let other people sway you into believing that it's different than what your gut's telling you. There you go. There's your answer.
I love it. Well, the book is called Rising After the Fall. It is book 3 of The Girl with the $1 Million Smile. Such an amazing book. You need to get all 3 of them. Just in case you don't know, Linda, I wanted to let you know your book has already made it as number 1. So it is another number 1 book for you. All 3 of them are number 1s now.
Yes.
So, but yeah, everybody needs to go to, the link is in the comments, and go and get your copy of Rising After the Fall right now. Dr. Linda, thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the show today.
It's totally my pleasure. Totally. Thank you for having me.